Hello everyone and welcome to Aniva Beauty Channel. My name is Anastasia and today I'm doing my go-to makeup and hairstyle for winter time. Okay, I just got out of the shower and my hair is still damp, so we're starting with the hairstyle today. But first, I want to give my skin a moment, especially in winter when everything feels a little drier and needs extra love. I'm using a peptide serum first, and then a rich comforting cream to really nourish the skin. And of course, a bit of lip balm. Winter lips need all the help they can get. I'm starting with a heat protectant, just to make sure the blow dryer isn't too harsh on my bleached hair. Next, I'm adding a little volumizing foam. It gives the hair more lift and helps the style last longer. By the way, all the products I'm using will be listed in the description box below. Then I brushed everything through really well so the product spreads evenly. Now I'm grabbing my blow dryer and a bottle brush and start drying the hair while lifting the roots. The goal here is simple. I want that root volume, so I'm drying everything against the natural direction of growth. On the crown, the fringe area and the sides, I lift the roots with a brush. And in the back, where it's harder to reach, I just brush the hair in the opposite direction. It does the same job without any awkward angles. I'm not touching the ends on purpose, they dry on their own from the airflow that hits them accidentally. And for my fine hair, that works perfectly. I keep going until the hair is about 95% dry, and that's it. The first part is done. Now that the hair feels dry to the touch, we can move on to the round brush. I'm taking a Mixed-Bristle round brush and switching the blow dryer to a slower airflow. First, I quickly smooth the hairline around the face, just to make sure every little baby hair is going in the same direction. And then I move on to the fringe. While I'm styling, I wrap each section tightly around the brush and slowly roll it through the length, keeping the airflow slightly angled, almost like touching the hair from the side. This helps smooth the cuticle and gives the hair that soft, shiny finish. At this point, the movement of the brush really matters. The rotation is what creates a smooth line without creases. I hold the brush firmly, but my fingers are relaxed and flexible. I'm using the first 3 fingers to grip it, and the rest help push it around as I roll. It's easier to show than explain, but the main rule is the brush rotates inside your hand, not with your elbow. Otherwise, the motion becomes limited. For extra volume, I first direct the airflow underneath, right at the roots, and then roll the brush as usual. For the fringe and the whole top section, I'm styling everything back. That way the hair falls nicely, the part can be moved around, and the volume around the face lasts much longer. Once the top section is done, I move on to the sides. I flip the hair over to the opposite direction so nothing gets in the way, and then I brush the section inward. The brush glides through easily, no snagging, no dragging, and that's exactly how it should feel. If the hair is still too damp, the brush starts catching, and the whole styling process becomes longer and more damaging. So this tells me we dried it well. When that's done, I work on the bottom layers and curl the ends in to create a soft, voluminous blowout curl. And then I repeat everything on the other side. With a brush this size, you won't get tight curls. It gives more of a soft, slightly rounded shape, which is perfect for everyday hair. And that's it! With my layered haircut, this kind of blowout looks especially pretty. A little bit like that iconic Jennifer Aniston vibe from Friends. Alright, the hair is done. Let's move on to the makeup. Today I'm going to start with the base. I'm using a super lightweight hydrating foundation and mixing it with a white full coverage concealer. In winter, my skin gets really pale, like pale enough that most foundations look yellow on me. At the same time, it gets more sensitive, dryness, redness, a few breakouts. So mixing a comfortable sheer base with a concealer helps me lighten the shade and add just a touch more coverage. I'm applying this mix with my fingers, pressing and smoothing it into the skin, so it melts in really naturally. And honestly, this combo works perfectly for me. The skin still looks like skin, the coverage goes from sheer to light medium, and all the redness disappears, while the hydrating formula keeps everything feeling comfortable. Okay, let's move to the next step. Once the foundation is on, we just need to cover whatever it didn't fully hide. I'm taking a full coverage concealer in my actual shade and placing it on the inner and outer corners of the eyes, a little around the sides of the nose, and on a couple of blemishes. With a brush, I'm blending a very thin layer under the eyes, avoiding the areas where it can settle into the fine lines. And then I finish the blend with my fingers to melt everything in. I go ahead and blend the rest of the concealer on the other spots, just making sure I don't miss anything. Already looks so much better. And that's it! Now we have a smooth, even base. Now let's set everything in place with some powder. I'm using a translucent loose powder and applying it over the entire face with a fluffy brush. Since our foundation has a slightly dewy finish, it can transfer onto clothes or feel a bit tacky during the day, so I want to make sure it's fully set. This way the base stays put, looks more natural, and won't rub off on all the winter layers I'm about to wear. But the good thing is, our morning skincare and the hydrating ingredients in the foundation are still doing their job. They keep the skin flexible and comfortable, so it won't feel tight or make the makeup crack, even with the powder on top. Alright, now that the base is nice and even, I want to bring a little color back into the face with a light, cool toned blush. I take a fluffy brush and blend it onto the cheeks, and instantly the skin looks a lot healthier and more awake. For an everyday look, I like to keep things simple and avoid too much contrast, so I also use the blush to add a bit of natural dimension. I sweep a tiny amount across the bridge of the nose, along the sides of the forehead, and even lightly through the crease. Since we already neutralized all the redness and little breakouts, this soft pink tone won't emphasize anything. It just brings the face back to life. Okay, the face is done, so let's move on to the eyes. For this look, I'm using a long wear brown pencil. It's a gel formula, so at first it's soft and creamy, and then it sets. And once it sets, it's not going anywhere all day. I draw a thin line really close to the lashes, from about the center of the eye. The goal here is just to define the eyes and give a little lift to the outer corner. Once the line is on, I immediately take a small soft brush and smudge it out before the pencil sets. I pull the line slightly outward, creating a tiny micro wing to elongate the eye just a touch. My eyes are super sensitive, especially in winter. Cold air and wind make them water instantly. And I can't tight line with the long wear products every day. It just makes the sensitivity worse. So this method is perfect for me. A long wear pencil that can handle a few tears, applied above the lashes so it doesn't cause any discomfort. Now that the pencil is in place, I want to set it with a little powder, just to make sure it doesn't transfer onto the lid during the day. Even though it's a long wear formula, I use a very rich, nourishing skincare, and sometimes that extra moisture can make products soften or smudge. So a touch of powder on top always saves the day. Okay, when everything is set, we are ready for a little glow. I'm using a cool tone Sparkly Eyeshadow for this look. I apply it with my finger all over the mobile lid and softly blend the edges into the crease. In winter, I always want a bit more shimmer, just something to brighten the mood. It feels like the season was made for tiny sparkly moments like this. Then I take a small brush and add the same product to the inner corner. The base of this product is almost transparent, so the cool tone sparkles are what really catch the light. And they give a beautiful contrast to the warm brown pencil. And to finish the eyes, I'm going in with mascara. We already added quite a bit of pink and the pencil has a warm undertone. So, to avoid the tired eyes effect, I like to balance everything out with a true black. I coat the lashes from the roots and give them a little lift to add some volume. This formula doesn't dissolve, it comes off in tiny tubes when you wash it off, so it's much more resistant to humidity and tears, which makes it perfect for winter. And that's it, the eye makeup is done. Moving on to the brows. I'm using a micro brow pen today. I'm not trying to imitate individual hairs for now. I'm kind of sketching soft guiding lines in the spots that look a bit sparse. I brush the brows up and down to see all those tiny gaps clearly and add a touch of product only where it's needed. Then I lightly comb through with a spoolie to soften the lines and blend them into the brow. And when it's done, I add a couple of micro hair-like strokes at the front. This technique keeps the brows airy and natural, but still gives them the shape and the fullness I want. Then I take a tinted brow gel and brush the hairs into place. When I'm short on time, I usually stick to just brow gel, but today I want a little more shape. And that's it! Now they're perfectly set, and they still look soft and natural. While I was working on the brows, the mascara had time to dry. So I take a Q-tip and gently lift off any mascara that transferred onto the lid. Once everything looks clean and neat, I give the lashes a little extra curl with my fingers. The mascara isn't smudging anymore, but it's still flexible enough for a tiny touch-up, which makes this the perfect moment to do it. And that's it, a soft lifted effect without the scary lash curler. And now the last step, the lips. In winter, I love using something that gives a tint to the lips, and then layering a comfy, nourishing balm on top. I'm starting with a bright, intense tinted lip oil. I apply a little to the center of the lips and blend it out into a thin wash of color. It gives a soft tinted effect, so even when the shine fades, the color stays on the lips. Once that's in place, I finish with a smoothing Peptide lip tint in a cooler berry tone shade. Together, they give me this juicy, fresh-looking color that's easy to maintain through the day and never feels dry or tight. And that's it! We're all done! A super quick and easy look that actually survives winter, which you know is a challenge. My skin and lips feel comfy, the eyes are giving that soft sparkle, and the hair is officially heat-proof. So yeah, this is the makeup and hairstyle I'll be wearing on repeat all season. Feel free to share your own winter makeup tricks in the comments, cause I read everything. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss my next one. Bye!